So while I do these shots,
Yeah.
I'll establish the context a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been here since yesterday. I'm in Vancouver.
Yep. That's
from
right.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
And this is Matthew Meleg.
West Coast style.
It's probably obvious from the different bottles and so on, but
Yeah.
you are a...
I guess you would say I'm a self-taught perfumer. And so basically what I do is I make perfumes and I do it in my own way, and I package my perfumes and I sell them.
So I had bought a bottle of one of your perfumes.
Yeah.
Vienna Chocolate Patchouli.
Yes.
And I'd gotten a few samples and I liked them, and then in the course of our conversations, somehow you suggested that you could make me a custom-made perfume.
Yeah.
And then that maybe I could video all this.
Sure, why not? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make you a custom perfume.
So at your request, before we ever even talked, I think, I sent you a list of things.
Yes.
That I like or dislike.
Yes.
Notes.
Yes.
And so on. A dry incense, something a bit smoky, something a bit animalic, something woody.
Yes.
Woody.
Woody.
And like with some sweetness mixed up in there.
Not overly sweet, not overly rosy.
Right. And then
nothing dense.
Right.
Not too dense.
And then we had a meeting. A Zoom meeting last week, I guess, 10 days ago.
Yeah.
To discuss all this.
Where are you? You are in Montreal.
I'm in Gatineau, which is across the river from Ottawa.
Oh, okay. Very close, yeah. The Ottawa River.
Yeah. And you're?
Vancouver. From. The West Coast, Vancouver, by way of Tokyo. So I have kind of a vision in my head, and I just want to ask you lots of questions so I can make the perfect perfume for you. The notes you sent me that you do like a bright, clear, kind of opening, not sweet, not cloying, with maybe
with a certain oomph and a certain effervescence.
You don't like cloves, you don't like nutmeg or cumin, nothing too sweet.
But I'm also attracted to incense, something resinous, something deep, and something also where you discover, there's a complexity where you discover new things with each wearing.
So I'm thinking, just this is the first impressions, of bright wood, and then you're coming down towards a co-distillation of cedar and frankincense. I have a very nice material. It's cedar wood that has been distilled together with frankincense. It's very nice and clean and bright. I have it here, slightly peppery as frankincense is. Slightly citrus in a bergamot way. Not sweet, not lime, but a kind of peppery, herbal, citrus. Not so much lemon, but bergamot. But you know what? This coffee and patchouli and chocolate and rose, you just have to smell it for yourself when you come here. I have them right here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing.
So how does that work, like what you're doing right now?
Basically how it works is I have rose here, I have chocolate, I have a coffee and patchouli, and I just put them next to each other. And I smell and I ask myself, does this work or not? And
does it work?
It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work.
Cool.
100%.
Cool.
It's going to work.
So here are some musks that I use. Basically, my way of making perfumes is kind of like what you would call pre-IFRA.
What is IFRA?
IFRA is the International Fragrance Association, and it's a self-governing body from Europe where large cosmetic companies and large perfume companies sort of do as much they can to minimize the risks of having any potential allergens in their perfumes. Synthetic perfumes are actually in many ways far safer and less potentially allergenic than natural perfumes, because natural perfumes have so many different molecules in their makeup. I use a lot more natural materials, like no natural perfumer can be IFRA compliant, basically not. I use animal products and good quality, animal musks and good quality materials in my perfumes because I really love history. I've always loved history, and I love the old French 1920s, 30s. Very resinous, enveloping, very rich, thick, very characterful, like really, really deep and full of character perfumes that are like 100 years old now.
And what natural musks do, because human beings, they're mammals, right? And we have hair and we have sweat follicles. So all of the musks, every musk as far as I know, every musk used in perfumery is from a mammal, even ambergris. So ambergris is from a whale.
But what does the musk add to the perfume, I guess? Like what's its function? Okay.
It makes the perfume like from here to like here. It merges. It actually makes like the perfume part of your body. If you're not happy with the animal musk, don't worry. The synthetic musks do the same job. But we can go musk. I can talk all day about it.
It's called African stone or Hyraceum. It's from the hyrax, which is a cute little animal. This musk, no animal was ever harmed in its production. Basically, what these little critters do, they look like tiny little rabbits in Ethiopia. And they pee in the same cave for thousands and thousands and thousands of generations. And they pee in the same spot, and the pee turns to stone. And what perfumers do is they gather these stones and they crush it up. Like, for example, I crushed my Hyraceum stone in this, mortar and pestle. And then I tincture it in perfumer's alcohol. And this is what you get. And Hyraceum smells like dusty, minerally. It does smell like the earth. Hyraceum smells like workers' gloves, like sweaty gloved hands. You've taken off the leather glove. It smells slightly leathery. It smells animalic. Now we have civet, and this is my aged civet tincture. It's at 3%. This particular musk I got from a man, his name's Dan, and he goes to Ethiopia. He's also a Canadian guy. And he buys his civet musk from farms where he's seen the farmers treating the animals well. This is my most controversial musk because there is a small chance that these animals didn't have the best life. And for me, civet is a very, very beautiful musk, but one day I hope to make the direct connections in Ethiopia for sure and just really secure really well-treated animals. The better the animal's treated, the better they're smelling the musk, without a doubt. And
you've checked this? This is
I know.
I
bought in cheap musk, which is used as hunter's bait, and it's horrible. And all the other perfumers say the same thing. If the animal's treated bad, it's a terrible musk. It's just really, it smells like oil.
When you say civet, like what part of what animal is that?
The civet is kind of like a ferret, and I have a pet ferret.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's similar to a ferret. It's a lot larger, and they're definitely not endangered. In fact, there's lots of them in the wild. And they're kind of a pest and a nuisance to a lot of farmers in Ethiopia as well as Indonesia.
But which part of the animal is it from?
Okay, so the
It's a
civet
gland?
musk is from the musk gland.
Okay.
And it's like a pouch. It's like a marsupial pouch, right? So you can collect the civet musk in various ways. The most ethical way is to have like a large farm, let the civets run around. They rub themselves against the same tree all the time, go and collect it. That is the best smelling civet. Civet musk. The second grade would be the animals caged but let out, caged in, partially free run or whatever. Right. And then the farmer would come in and scoop it out.
Okay, so they're not killed for
No, they're not killed for it. They're not killed for
okay.
it. As the farmers are understanding that perfumers want well-treated civets, I think they are treating the civets better. And as the farmers can sort of take care of their needs, then they can, and they're not worried about starving tomorrow, then they can afford to treat the animals better. So this is my pet ferret, and I do love animals, and I grew up on a farm, and he definitely has a very musky smell.
He does, I smelled it. It smells like some of your musks that you have, actually.
It is musk, and I love Teddy very much, and I hope that the animals that I get my civet musk from are treated fairly decently. So 10 sample pack, put in Madeleine Peach. Madeleine Peach here, it's named after my mother, old style, kind of spicy cinnamon peach. It's quite unique. Next is Vienna chocolate, which is Mitti Attar from India, and 3 different types of patchouli, mint opening. And it's kind of a dusty, almost slightly musky, earthy gourmand, because it has a dark, dry, bitter chocolate, so not overly sweet. Next we have the Golden Guy, which is a tinctured pipe tobacco, tinctured in Chambord, blackberry liqueur from France. Next we have the birch tar, Russian leather, very, very powerful and very strong smoky leather perfume. And then we have here the civet cat, which is a musky old style chypre with lots of natural civet musk. Deer musk perfume, deer musk and honey. Tobacco and frankincense, very bright frankincense, bright and light with lots of cardamom in the opening. And okumas, forest florals, aldehydic, classic aldehydes, floral with a unique green leather dry down. And then we have mushin and oud, both of which have real agar wood in them. I brought incense back with me from Kyoto, Japan.
Well, you lived there for 10 years?
Well, I lived in Japan for 10 years. I lived in Tokyo, but I always went to Kyoto for vacation. I went there so many times because I love Kyoto, the old city. And basically, I spent like 3 months trying to recreate the smell of the incense. I brought it back, I burnt it, I took notes, I tried to make a perfume smell exactly like the temple incense. And that's mushin. Each box, I place my wax, sealing wax on here. Watch out, boo-boo. And there's my seal. Basically, it means I checked everything. It's approved.